Well, let's rush back into a few charts because we've got many requests. And one of the big requests is, can you believe that that is for Pfizer? And I made a joke with a friend of mine the other day, and he actually asked me about Pfizer, and I said, well, it's not a bad company. I mean, they were quite involved with all the vaccines. But I said to him, you know what? I'm so happy that the normal flu is back because I see some people get flu nowadays and not all COVID nowadays. Listen, that's just on a lighter note. So well, let's have a look at Pfizer. I mean, first of all, I can remember a few weeks back we looked at this. Let's just show you. There was a head and shoulder. There you are. And that head and shoulder played out to the T. Then there was an inverse head and shoulder. There you are. And we were hoping that it can break to the upside, but what happened? It bounced all the way to the downside, and that turned out to be an invalid formation. Now, what do we see now? And remember, this is a weekly chart. I want to show you something, and there you are. I don't like this. And this is the big support line of Pfizer. Now, Pfizer, yes, did bounce off it, 47.68. That will be seen as bullish because in the past it bounced off the support line. There you are, you can see it. But for me personally, I'm a little bit nervous because what I see here is that it's testing that. And I've learned, and that's quite an important thing, when a share try to bounce off a support line maybe for a couple of times, and when it fails, it actually fails nastily. So what you see here is it's just above this line. Yes, if you are bullish, yeah, you can buy it right at the point where it is now at 49.35 because you will believe that the support line will be a support and will remain a support and will trigger another rally. And your target will probably be 51.47 and maybe back to 55.27. I will use this as my stop loss. I just want to show you. It's just below this line because that was a previous support and that is at 47.59. So for me, yes, you can buy it. But I'm just a little bit nervous. If it breaks this line, then it's this 57 level and then maybe all the way back to that level there. And there's a strong support resistance line. Just have a look here. First of all, it was a resistance. There was it a resistance. Then it worked hard, it bounced off that, and it turned into a support, came back to test it, and then rallied. That's a strong. That's a strong support. So I believe that the share, if it pulls back to that level, that will probably trigger a beautiful buy at that specific point in time. I'm just a little bit nervous. The S&P 500 is under pressure. The Nasdaq is under pressure, and I believe that. If COVID is maybe just passing a little bit and we're back into normal modes, then maybe we can see a bit of a sell-off around here. Thelma is asking about Netflix. She wants to buy it because she believes it's a good company. Maybe I must just show you, Thelma, where Netflix is coming from. I mean, this company was a company of close to, let's call it $61. Then it went up. I mean, that was in the years 2000 and 2013. That's when the company really started to do some good things. It went up all the way, and it went almost to $700. I mean, that's from 60. Now, I know you want to buy it because you believe it offers some value now. By the way, last week was the first time, I think, in 10 years where they lost some subscribers and their sales was starting to drop. I mean, look at this waterfall formation, and this is a classic, the high, lower highs, and look at these ugly sellers. So let's maybe go to a candlestick chart. There you are. Now, Thelma, if I look at this chart, and remember this is a weekly chart, I don't see any reversal candle here at the bottom. So for me, it's quite simple. I want the share to maybe show me a formation, like a waterfall formation. Then what I will do is I will look for either an overbought, oversold situation. This share should probably be way oversold, I think, because of our time constraint. Maybe I will not look at it. The most important thing that I will look at a turnaround candle. Now, why do I look at the turnaround candle or a change in price? Because what is the most important indicator that you can use? Just think about it. The most important indicator is price action. Because it doesn't matter who's telling you what. It can be oversold, it can be overbought, it can be volume, there can be everything. But it depends on the price where the share is trading at. At the moment, it's 295. I cannot see anything, any reversal candle yet. For me, it's ugly Marubozu candles here. What is a Marubozu candle? A Marubozu candle is a candle that tells you that there's a lot of serious sellers around. So unfortunately, maybe let's look in a week or two from now again. But at the moment, I think Netflix is not a buy on this weekly chart at the moment. Zolly wants to buy Disney. Now, Zolly is almost the same thing as Netflix here. It just shows you that investors nowadays, if they want to punish a company, they come out and they really punish it. Now, if you think about it, it was in October, it was about $116. It went up to $200. There was a little gap around here. Now, that gap, just look at that. That gap was between 134.10 and 128.62. I mean, that was a gap, but it's almost 80 rand from the top. And I've seen, and I know that the rule of candlesticks or a gap in candlesticks is the following. It's either going to close today or tomorrow or sometimes in future. Now, let's just see. It took a few months for it to close. I just want to draw in the line so that you can see there. There you are, you can see that. And what happened during this week? The stock was hammered, last week, the stock was hammered and it closed this gap. And the same thing that I told Thelma. Thelma, there was no reversal candle yet. But the difference here is, and this is what I would like to show you. This little candle here. Now, everybody that does our candlestick scores will learn that this candle, this is a gravestone doji, or it can even be a teardrop candle. But for me, I think it's going to turn into a gravestone doji after all these ugly sell-offs. Now, a gravestone doji can act also as a turnaround candle. So when a share has been hammered, you get right at the bottom of the sell-off, you get a gravestone doji, you get a doji, you get a dragonfly. Just maybe show you. There's beautiful dragonfly candles. Look at that. It just tells you that there was some serious selling. I mean, from 200 to 116, that is what you call serious selling. So for me, I will say, look at this candle. Maybe it's going to turn around and maybe going to show us it's a reversal. So where will it be a reversal? When that high, and that will be 120.33. If that turns into a support, then you know that this candle acts as a reversal, and then maybe it's time to stand closer. So if you buy above 120.33, make use of a stop loss of 115.64. Now, where can it go to if it goes above 115.64? If it goes above that 120 level, it can easily go back to 128.33, 133.67, and even as high as 144.61. And why do I show that line? Because only then you will get to this resistance line. Can you believe that? I mean, it just shows you how strong this share was sold off. I mean, there were some serious sellers here. So use that. Let's check. Maybe you can get a reversal candle and maybe it's a good buy for you. Well, Frida is asking about Barworld. Now, Frida, I know you probably can afford another new car. I cannot afford it. It's just too expensive. In actual fact, a friend of mine that's in the second-hand car dealer business, he said to me he's going to actually sell some of his businesses. I said to him, why? He said, because inflation is making me money. That's interesting. That's the first time that I've heard that he's making good money. But it says it's not a good thing if inflation makes you money, because you know at some point in time the investor or the buyer of the car can just not afford the car. And that's why he's maybe thinking of selling some of his stores. Now, if you look at Barworld, I mean, nothing wrong with the company. They sit on loads of cash. They're doing brilliant business. And what do we see here? There's the left shoulder. Ugly head. There's the right shoulder in the making. So for me personally, Frida, unless the share goes above this level, and that is 119.20, I know that this right shoulder will be wiped off the table. I will not touch the company. In actual fact, if I long-term holder of the company and it drops below this 92.81, that will give me a sell. Where can it go to? So I'm a little bit nervous because I mean, if inflation carries on the way it's going to carry on now, eventually we will see a sort of a stall in selling of new cars or old cars, second-hand cars. Now, where can it go to? I just want to show you. It can go to 46. There you are. Oh, yes, beautiful, to this old low of 54.77. So just be a little bit careful. I will not just go in and rush in to buy it. The share looks like a little bit to me, especially with this warning formation. He's asking about Omnia now. Terry, I think you may be a little bit late to buy it. What worries me, and I hope it's good for food prices, because Omnia is a fertilizer manufacturer and distributor, and they're printing money because everybody is looking for that. But I'm seeing a tiny little tweezer up here that's on a weekly chart, and for me, unfortunately, below this little line, and there you are, it bounced above that, below this line, and there you are, below 77.78, it can easily move all the way down to that level, 70.20, and maybe even back to 67.13, unless the share can maybe wipe off this tweezer top, and that will be 82.5, and it can fly even higher. But I mean, in a matter of 5 weeks, from 61 Rand to almost 80 Rand, it's a brilliant rally. But of course, it's a lamp pole formation. So just watch out. It had a beautiful rally, but I think it's maybe a little bit overcooked. We never know with this war issue between Ukraine and Russia. It can maybe mess up a lot of things. Well, visit our website. Thank you for watching the show. We'll be back again, www.fransklerk.com, for more info, and we will chat again.